All right, today we are tackling one of the biggest fitness goals out there, getting strong, defined abs. But we're also going to break down the one single exercise that almost everyone thinks is the key to getting them. So, if I ask you that question, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. For millions of us, one very specific, very famous movement immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, you know the one. It's been the go-to, the absolute staple of ab workouts since like the 1940s. You see it everywhere. Magazines, workout videos, pretty much every gym class you've ever set foot in.
Okay, but here's where we need to press pause. What if that answer isn't just a little off, but actually dangerously wrong? We really need to dive into this because a growing pile of research says this go-to exercise isn't just a waste of time. It could be doing some serious long-term damage. To really get why, we've got to look at what's actually happening to your spine every single time you do a crunch. And this is where the biomechanics experts have been sounding the alarm for years now. So, get this. Dr. Stuart McGill, who is a top professor of spine biomechanics, ran these studies that are, frankly, terrifying. His lab basically replicated that crunching motion on spinal segments over and over again. And what happened? They found it squeezed the discs until they literally bulged and herniated.
The best way to picture what's happening is to think of your spinal disc as a little jelly donut. According to the source, every single crunch you do is like squeezing that donut, pushing and forcing that jelly filling to bust out through the side. Yeah, ouch.
And let's talk force for a second. Back in 1995, a study found that just one sit-up can put over 3,000 newtons of compressive force on your lower back. Now, to put that in perspective, that's a level of force that safety organizations say is directly linked to causing lower back injuries on every rep.
Okay, so that risk of a serious spinal injury, that's a huge red flag, obviously. But believe it or not, that's not the only reason experts say you should probably just ditch this exercise for good. And here's the thing. It's not just one problem. It's a total system failure. First off, crunches put your spine through thousands of these bending cycles, which basically ages it way faster. They also perfectly mimic and reinforce that awful slumped-over posture a lot of us have from sitting at a desk all day. And maybe the real kicker for your fitness goals? They only work those surface-level six-pack muscles, completely ignoring the deep core muscles that give you actual, useful stability. So if crunches are out, what are you supposed to do? Well, the new thinking suggests a complete shift in strategy. It's about moving away from isolating one tiny muscle and moving toward integrating your core into how your whole body moves. And this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have crunches, isolating a tiny piece of the puzzle. But on the other, you have a modern functional approach that trains the whole core to work as one solid unit, to stabilize you, to transfer power in 3D, the way your body is actually designed to move in real life. So how do you actually do this? Well, the recommended strategy is basically a two-step game plan. First, you start with the foundation. You build up real strength in those deep, stabilizing core muscles. Then, and only then, do you move on to integrating that strong core into bigger, more powerful, full-body movements. And all of this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from this entire explainer. It's not just about swapping one exercise for another. It's about completely redefining what the goal of core training should even be. Let's be real, for decades, we've been sold this idea of purely cosmetic abs. We've all been chasing this look that, as we're now seeing, doesn't actually mean you have real functional strength. The real prize, the ultimate goal here, is to build a powerful, integrated midsection that acts like a suit of armor for your spine. It's a core that protects you from getting hurt, fixes your posture, and gives you the foundation for pretty much every powerful thing you do, inside the gym and out. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. The next time you're about to lie down on the floor and start crunching away, just ask yourself, is this movement really building me up for the long haul, or is it slowly, rep by rep, breaking me down?